In the opening scene, we are introduced to a billionaire named Richie and his wife, Hunter, as they attend a dinner party alongside several affluent guests. The occasion celebrates Richie's recent business achievements, which have generated substantial profit for his company. His parents appear immensely proud of him. After the dinner concludes, Richie and Hunter return to their newly acquired luxurious home in upstate New York. Despite her newfound life of wealth and comfort, Hunter, who comes from a working-class background, spends most of her days feeling bored and emotionally unfulfilled. She passes the time by cooking, playing mobile games, and sketching. In reality, however, she feels emotionally repressed and isolated because Richie is consistently distant and inattentive toward her. During one dinner, Hunter attempts to engage her husband in conversation, but he remains too distracted by work-related messages to provide her with the attention she longs for. Several days after the dinner party, Hunter discovers that she is pregnant and shares the news with her husband, who is thrilled by the idea of starting a family. To celebrate the occasion, the couple arranges a dinner with Richie's parents. During the meal, Hunter attempts to share a story from her childhood, but her father-in-law abruptly interrupts her and redirects the conversation toward business matters instead. Feeling discouraged, Hunter withdraws into herself and begins staring at the shimmering ice cubes in her glass. As her mood darkens, she impulsively places one of the cubes into her mouth and bites down on it, creating discomfort and awkwardness among the other diners. The following day, Hunter's mother-in-law, Catherine, enters her room and gives her a book about postpartum depression, explaining that it helped her during her own pregnancy. Catherine also takes the opportunity to comment on Hunter's appearance, suggesting that she would look more attractive with longer hair, as Richie prefers women with longer hairstyles. Later, while reading the same book, Hunter comes across a passage that inspires her to do something unexpected. In a reckless moment, she picks up a small marble from her trinket collection and swallows it whole. Surprisingly, the act makes her feel significantly better. Marbles are the new keto. When Richie returns home from work, he is surprised to find his wife in such a cheerful mood. He asks what has made her so happy, and she replies that she did something unexpected that made her feel proud of herself. However, when Richie presses her for details, Hunter lies and claims that it was simply her decision to choose blue curtains. The following morning, as Richie prepares to leave for work, he becomes upset with Hunter after discovering that she has ruined one of his silk ties. Later that day, Hunter successfully passes the marble she swallowed earlier, retrieving it from the sink without showing any disgust. Shortly afterward, her mother-in-law summons her for a conversation, during which Catherine asks about Hunter's employment before marrying Richie. Hunter admits that she previously worked in retail, specifically selling toiletries. Upon hearing this, Catherine remarks that Hunter is extremely fortunate to have married Richie. She also questions whether Hunter is genuinely happy or merely pretending to be. Although Hunter insists that she is truly happy, her expressions suggest otherwise. One day, while cleaning the house, Hunter comes across a thumbtack that immediately captures her attention. Despite her hesitation, she eventually places it into her mouth, only for it to prick her tongue. She attempts to resist the urge to swallow it, but ultimately gives in to the impulse and ingests the object, experiencing a strange sense of relief. That same evening, Richie returns home accompanied by several friends. Hunter intends to greet them by the pool, but the pain caused by the thumbtack suddenly intensifies, forcing her to rush to the bathroom. She eventually passes the thumbtack, though the ordeal leaves a considerable amount of blood on the toilet seat. Fortunately, before Richie notices anything, Hunter quickly cleans up the mess and exits the bathroom. At the pool, one of Richie's friends congratulates her on the pregnancy. However, the situation becomes unusual when he asks Hunter for a hug, claiming that he feels lonely. Hunter reluctantly agrees, though it becomes clear that she needed the embrace more than he did. As time passes, Hunter becomes increasingly addicted to consuming non-edible objects she finds around the house, including metal figurines, batteries, book pages, safety pins, and various other items. The thrill of swallowing these objects becomes intensely exhilarating for her, and she finds herself unable to resist the temptation. One day, during a routine ultrasound appointment, the sonogram technician notices an abnormality in Hunter's abdomen. She is immediately rushed into emergency surgery, where doctors discover numerous inedible objects lodged inside her intestine. After a thorough examination, the physician diagnoses Hunter with pica, a psychological disorder that compels individuals to consume non-food items. Upon returning home, Richie is understandably angry and confused, questioning what could possibly be wrong with her. Hunter claims that she does not understand what is happening and had never even heard of pica before. Concerned for her well-being, Richie and his parents arrange psychiatric treatment for her in the city. Initially, they insist on attending her therapy sessions until the psychiatrist, Alice, requests to speak with Hunter privately. During their conversation, Alice asks how swallowing these objects makes her feel, and Hunter admits that she enjoys the sensation of their textures in her mouth. Meanwhile, Richie hires a Syrian man named Louis to keep a closer watch on Hunter while he is away at work. Unfortunately, this only increases Hunter's frustration. Over the following days, she becomes increasingly irritated by Louis's constant attempt to assist her in the kitchen. He criticizes her mental health struggles, implying that if she had endured the hardships he experienced in Syria, she would not have such problems. Furthermore, he even checks her before allowing her to use the bathroom. Despite all of this, Hunter continues finding ways to swallow non-food objects for satisfaction. The scene then shifts to Richie's lavish birthday celebration held at their mansion. During the party, Hunter realizes that everyone present is aware of her swallowing disorder. She confronts Richie and asks why he told everyone, but he dismisses her concerns, insisting that it is his special day and that he does not want her to ruin it. This leaves Hunter feeling deeply hurt and humiliated. Later that night, while the couple is having coitus, Hunter abruptly stops and demands that Richie apologize before they continue. During her next therapy session, Hunter reveals a deeply personal and traumatic truth. She explains that she was not raised by her biological father and has never met him, though she keeps a photograph of him. Hunter also discloses that she was conceived after her mother was forced upon by a stranger. One day, while in the garden, Hunter becomes fixated on the soil, but manages to resist the urge to consume it. However, while washing her hands, she overhears Richie speaking to her therapist on the phone. Hunter realizes that Richie has bribed the therapist to disclose the details of their private sessions. Alice reveals everything discussed during Hunter's previous appointment, including information about her mother's case. The revelation immediately sends Hunter into a state of panic. As soon as Richie leaves for work, she breaks down in tears. Shortly afterward, Louis enters the room to check on her and discovers her hiding beneath the bed. Feeling sympathetic, he joins her there and gently pats her shoulder, offering comfort and support during her emotional breakdown. In the middle of the night, Hunter awakens and notices Louis sleeping soundly beside her. Her compulsion to swallow inanimate objects returns once again, prompting her to frantically search through the drawers. When she cannot find anything suitable, she hastily grabs a screwdriver and swallows it. However, this immediately proves to be a terrible mistake, as Hunter begins choking, waking Louis in the process. He quickly calls 911 and rushes her to the hospital. Fortunately, the surgeons manage to remove the screwdriver without harming either Hunter or the fetus. That baby is going to grow up to become shoe nice. Following this terrifying experience, Hunter finds herself under tremendous pressure as Richie and his parents force her to sign papers committing her to a psychiatric hospital for 7 months until the baby is delivered. Although Hunter initially refuses, Richie blackmails her by threatening divorce if she does not comply. Left with no other choice, Hunter reluctantly agrees, much to Louis's sympathy as he watches from nearby. The following day, Hunter packs her belongings and prepares to leave for the psychiatric facility. However, at the last moment, she returns to her room, claiming that she forgot her charger. To her surprise, Louis meets her there and encourages her to escape through the woods. Hunter follows his advice, and once she disappears from sight, Loe stages the situation to resemble an escape. Hunter eventually hitchhikes to a motel and discreetly pockets some soil before entering. Later, she calls Richie and confesses that she became pregnant only to make him happy and that they rushed into everything far too quickly. Richie initially speaks calmly and kindly, attempting to persuade her to come back. However, when she refuses, his tone changes completely, and he begins insulting and belittling her, claiming that she is worthless and incapable of doing anything correctly. After the call ends, Hunter crushes her phone and spends the remainder of the night alone, watching television while eating soil. The following day, she checks out of the motel and contacts her mother to ask whether she can stay with her. Unfortunately, her mother declines, explaining that her other daughter is already staying there. With nowhere else to go, Hunter decides to hitchhike to the home of her biological father, William Irwin. Upon arriving, she discovers that William is celebrating his birthday with family and friends. Hunter approaches him, but William initially assumes that she is the parent of one of his daughter's friends. Hunter clarifies that she is not a parent and mentions her mother's name. Upon hearing it, William immediately recognizes her as his estranged daughter. After finding an opportunity to speak privately, Hunter asks why he assaulted her mother, and William admits that he felt powerful when he committed those acts. However, after spending years in prison, he came to understand the severity of his actions and now deeply regrets them. The conversation becomes emotional as William expresses overwhelming shame and guilt regarding his past. Hunter asks whether he feels ashamed of her and whether she is anything like him. William immediately rejects the idea, assuring her that she is nothing like him and bears no responsibility for the events of the past. Overcome with emotion, Hunter finds comfort in William's reassurance that she is blameless and should not carry the burden of guilt. After finding peace through her emotional conversation with William, Hunter feels ready to move forward with her life. She ultimately makes the difficult decision to undergo an abortion and visits a clinic, where she is prescribed medication for the procedure. Hunter takes the pills while eating lunch in a food court, and despite the crowded environment surrounding her, she experiences the physical effects of the abortion alone in a public restroom, consumed by her thoughts. Once the procedure is complete, Hunter experiences a profound sense of relief and liberation. She understands that the decision was not easy, but it was the right one for her at that stage of her life. With a renewed sense of freedom and a clearer state of mind, Hunter prepares to begin a new chapter, leaving behind the pain and trauma of her past. She will now head to the Toys R Us and eat some Beyblades. Thanks for watching. Please like this video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Your support really helps us grow and bring you more amazing content.